Welcome back, everybody. I haven't introduced the last two videos, but in the meantime, we haven't done very much. We spent some time today rotating the turbine housing because the oil line didn't quite line up. We couldn't bolt it down back there. The other thing we're doing is we bought a battery relocation pieces. Relocation pieces? Yeah. We bought the stud and then also a voltage thing in case it trips so we don't burn the car to the ground, because we're going to put the battery in the trunk so that way we can run our intercooler piping through that hole around there and don't have to cut a hole in our hood, which would be pretty tight, but we're going to refrain from that this time around. Other than that, we are struggling to get this oil line hooked up. This is the return line. It's pretty tight. Let me show you. This is 7/16 and whoops. This is 10 millimeters, so we're having trouble doing that, getting the oil returned. What is that?
A different one.
A different? You just found this?
No, it came with the other kit.
Oh, this could be eye-opening. This could be very good. Time to get rid of carpet. We got to run that battery cable somewhere, hopefully somewhere easy, and we're gonna get rid of carpet. See if that helps. Dude, are you kidding me?
This isn't working too well. I think we need a different tool.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, park mark's still up.
We also went ahead and took the liberty of trying to remove some of that center console. It's so dark in here because the sun is at the wrong angle, but there we go. There's a little bit better view. You can see that we're removing bits of that center console. This car is shedding some serious weight, dude. This is our amassed weight shedding. We got rid of the center console. We succeeded in that. That was one of the very first things Steven asked to do, was remove that center console like a year and a half ago, back before we even got this car like in our possession.
It's gone now.
And it's gone. Look at the pile of carpet. We just saved like, what, half a second? 3/4 of a second?
I think it's for every 100 pounds at 0.1 of a second.
It's a 1/10 of a second for every 100 pounds?
Yeah.
Oh. So we probably saved like 0.001 of a second.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of things. We have made some pretty good progress. We have some pretty big hurdles coming up though with the oil issue that we're having, which I'll go over here in just a second. Also fitting the bumper back on. That's going to be pretty big, except we really just have to cut the the black thing that holds the bumper on and then the bumper itself to go around the intercooler. Where we're at now is we also have to deal with the issue of the intercooler piping, and I think what we're going to do is just let a exhaust shop do that, because we're also going to have to get the wastegate and the turbo exhaust rerouted to the existing exhaust. All of that, we don't have the pipe benders and stuff like that, so it really doesn't make sense for us to try and do that and make some terrible job. So we're just going to let the professionals do it and do it right. Other than that though, we're working on migrating the battery, like I said. So as you can see, we freed up a bunch of space, which means that that hole there, the people that rerun the exhaust can just go through that hole up to the intake, and then that will be pretty good. Also, better weight distribution, although it's obviously very minimal, so it really won't be that big of a deal. Like we said earlier, we're also getting rid of a bunch of the interior stuff, exposed the wrong way, but freeing up space. So we got some big projects to go. The other problem, like I said, is the oil. There's this giant ass bolt. Can't see it because it's too dark. If I move that light over there, you can see it. But next to that oil filter, that thing with the white text on it, to the right of that, there's a giant ass bolt that we can't get off because the timing belt is in the way. And so I think we're going to let a professional do that one as well.
Probably.
But other than that, we just need our ECU, exhaust, and oil, fit the bumper back on, which I think we're going to wait to do. We're going to cut it up so we can fit it, and then take it to the exhaust shop and stuff with no bumper on it. So it'll be a little bit easier for them. But making good progress. Ladies and gentlemen, you won't believe it. We are putting things back together. We're not destroying, we're not taking apart. We are putting it back together. So Steven spent quite a bit of time sawing away the that bumper support, that black thing he's attaching back on now. We had talked about this a couple times in the last 2 videos concerning where we were going to cut it. And the intercooler was covered up just a tiny bit, but it's only like 2 of the rows of the intercooler, so I think it will sufficiently cool our 8 psi of air that we're suspecting we'll get. You can see his mess down there. The other thing is that I also, in the meantime, drilled a hole for the new battery line. As you can see, there's the stud and the new cable, and that goes through the firewall into the car. Let me go back here and show you what we're planning. And if it sounds weird, if I sound weird, it's because I've been sick the past couple days, but I'm trucking along. So this is that power relay thing I told you about, so we don't burn the car down. Sets trips at 125 volts or amps, one of the two. I think it's volts.
I think it's 150.
150, yeah. 150, you can see it right there. 150 amps, there we go. And we're gonna mount this to the metal right there, and then what we're gonna do, pretty dark back here as usual, but put the battery either right behind the driver's chair or somewhere in the back on some metal. So, can you believe it? We are getting ready to tow this to a shop. Isn't that pretty fire?
It is.
Well, we've invested in more tools. We bought an air compressor because we're still having trouble with that oil feed. We met a guy who has a shop here in town that works on these 4G63 engines, and on the turbo version, get my finger in the right spot, that is supposed to be an oil feed line, which of course it's not, because our engine is not cool. But what we've still been working on is trying to get to that bolt way into there. Now you can actually see it since there's some daylight. There's that giant bolt kind of in there somewhere. And we can't get to loosen the tensioner. Are you going to break that power cord? Are you going to cut that tape?
We're good.
Okay, cool. Couldn't get to the tensioner on the alternator because it's in a really weird angle, so we decided we need this to help us make life easier. And it'll be really useful. I'm sure we'll be able to use this thing all the time, so I'm pretty excited about that. We've officially found the most helpful car guy ever. And what we discovered is that we actually have the turbo upside down because what we thought were the feed and return holes are reversed. So we had it upside down. So we have to take it all off again and rotate the housing. So Steven's working on getting those bolts off, but also the helpful guy gave us pretty much everything that we would need to connect up the oil lines. And also, we spent the last probably 2 hours getting off that giant ass bolt that we've been working on right there, and come to find out it's not really gonna work. So
we didn't even need to.
We don't even need to, yeah. We got to get those 2 Allen key bolts out right there, which we tried to like a week ago, and they're insanely tight. So we're gonna get that off. And we spent a bunch of time. We had to take off the timing cover, bunch of other bullshit to get to that bolt.
No, we didn't even need to take it off.
Didn't even need to take it off.
Didn't even need to.
But
it's off.
Oh, the other really fire thing, which is why I need more cameras so I can constantly be recording, is we needed a 22. I think this might be the 22, but we needed a 22 to get that giant ass bolt off, and I knew I had bought one, but we couldn't find it anywhere. And it was seriously like a fucking movie. And I come back and find the 22 right, I don't know, somewhere in there. It was so whack. I was screaming at the top of my lungs out of frustration. It's one of those car things though, right? Yeah. We took the turbo off the headers and rotated it, which was easy. Fortunately, there was no C-clip like we saw in many other videos like Mighty Car Mods. It was just a bunch of bolts. So we did that, flipped it around, and we're going to do a test fit, make sure that we don't have to rotate the housing a bit more because of the big oil drain on top, or actually the bottom now. Make sure that that can still line up perfect, and then we might get really close to having the oil finally done. Potentially, after we get that Allen key out of there. Alright, so yet another day has gone by where we have more issues, and we've tried to find another solution for it. So what we discovered is that the little fitting that we were given by the amazing car shop that we will be featuring in our tune video coming up was not the right thread size for that bolt. Let me move this light over here and I'll show you more or less what I'm talking about. Hopefully I can get it all the way over there. So, of course, as we mentioned before, the giant ass bolt that is now missing up there, that hole right there, that one is a 20, or actually an 18 mil, sorry. And what the adapter we were given is a 16. So what we're going to do is just actually tap the plug that was in there, and then we'll be able to use a fitting that we were given by the amazing car shop, and hopefully get these oil lines plumbed up. Then something else that I haven't mentioned is that we accidentally damaged the camshaft sensor, which is that little black thing right there sticking off, and the plug kind of goes in there. Like, it works because we know it's been kind of janky for a while, but I think we need to get a new one of those because it doesn't actually stay securely in there. It meets up and it will do its job just fine, but like, it could bounce out because you can see there's some play in that. We need to get that fixed. Other than that, still got to do the battery thing. I've just left that kind of hanging in the balance, and get it towed over to the muffler shop here pretty soon once we get that oil lined up. And then we were actually told something that we didn't know, which is pretty cool, is that once we get all the exhaust ran, we can actually drive the car as long as we have it in vacuum and not running any boost. It will drive not very good. It will be fine though, so we can just throw a little air intake on that and actually drive the car back home, which would be perfect. So got some good things going on. So this is Steven's fantastic tapping and dyeing and cutting and mending things. So that was that giant ass bolt. We drilled a hole through it and then tapped it out, and it worked flawlessly. I was sitting near over here, heart pounding, yelling at him to hurry up, and it worked out perfect. It's awesome.
Yes.
We've done something correctly for once.
For once. First time all day.
We have oil! We did it! We struck gold! Black gold! There's the line running up through there, into the top of the turbo. We've successfully accomplished something productive tonight. We're putting back on that power steering wheel so we can put the belt back on. And then the next thing we're gonna have to do is we can't drill through the oil pan like we thought. We gotta go through that silver thing up there. And so we might either have to take it off or figure out a way to get our drill in there. But once that's done, we can connect this little blue valve right there straight into that silver bit, and we'll have our feed and return circulated. Just like that. The alternator belt back on, and so now we gotta tighten down the power steering.
You see the 12 anywhere?
12 what?
Socket.
Yeah, it's under the car. Dude, you couldn't just reach down and grab that?
Nah.
Is it because it's 11 o'clock? What was that?
Me punching the wall.
Being a clown.
Being a clown.
Using the air wrench for this one?
That's not even the right one I needed.
Is it a 14?
Probably.
You're pretty good at this. I'm glad I'm not paying you. I'm paying you with love and kindness, dude.
Nothing.
The fun of driving a Turbo Sonata. Maybe. Until it blows up.
Soon.
How gross is gross?
I mean...
Ooh, that's pretty brutal, actually.
Pretty gross.
We should have left the center console.
We should have. Hell yeah, dude. Business cards?
When our tuner's in there, he's gonna be like, what the f***? Dude, that's advertising. I can't show that.
Dude, this bitch is probably dead.
I hope not. It's brutal. Who's that? Dr. Joe... What?
Who cares?
Is that a
Hell
movie
yeah,
ticket?
dude. What movie did you just see?
Hairs and sticky shit on a piece of paper. More hairs and sticky shit.
Dude, a quarter! And more. Oh, dude, check it. It's a keepsake.
What?
It's a keepsake.
Is that pot?
From when your window got smashed and your wallet got stolen.
How the f did glass end up under the center console?
Dude, there's a bunch in here, actually. Look, here's some more.
Dude, that's so heavy. Glass is heavy, dude. Let's get rid of the windows.
Yeah, let's smash them.
Get that off my seat, dude. It's gonna cut it. It's pretty solid.
We should get Dakota to clean this.
How much do we have to pay him?
Dude, there's buds in here. These are seriously fucking buds, dude. Come peep this. Like, legit. There are buds roaming around on that piece of paper.
What do you mean? I don't see any bugs.
Dude.
Oh yeah, there are. Those little critters. Angle your light more. Ew. You had f***ing termites in this bitch?
I don't know what those are, dude. Those are probably like...
There's gonna be so many bleeps in this clip.
Those are probably fleas. That's...
Yeah, dude. Very likely. Put that in your hair. I mean, you already have fleas.
That's gross. Dude, I found you a heart. Here, dude. It's an earring.
Brutal. Where's the match to that? So, Steven tells me he's not proud of my battery solution, but honestly, I couldn't be more proud of it. Look at that. Yeah, there's some contact missing, but look at that. Like, most of it is touching that battery post. Okay, and yeah, okay, I'll give you that there's two different color bolts, and they're two different sizes completely. When you come into there, you can see that silver bolt is significantly longer than the black one, which you can't even really see. But I mean, dude, after all, this is Budget Racers. That's extremely budget. And I got it done. What's there to hate? As long as the car turns on and the battery's working, then what's there to hate?
I don't know.
Oh, as you'll notice, also this is completely different. That black orb thing went away. We just kind of got rid of that fuse box because we have one later on in the car. What you doing? Trying to get that bolt out?
I should just hammer out. No.
Oh, okay, cool. So then we can attach that to our post and anything else that we need to wire in. I have that boost gauge, and it has like a little LED light that we can install on it, and it has to be wired in, of course, and we can just run that up here. So that'll be handy dandy. Or actually to the battery, which is going to be directly behind the driver's seat. That'll be pretty tight. So we've already began our next day very productively. I have to cut this radiator fan to fit it back in so that the muffler shop can get a pipe around the turbo, because otherwise it doesn't fit. All that plastic bit that I'm cutting away there, I'm almost done, was blocking a potential pipe to be fit. In the meantime, Steven and I have soldered the ground together, and so we got another cable, ran it to the battery, which we have now tested and hooked up. Let me show you. And it's looking pretty tight. We got some self-tapping screws, went through the bottom. That's a little plastic bag. It's not blood on the ground right there. And so the battery is secure now. It doesn't go forward or backward. And the ground and the red cable are hooked up. We'll probably do a little bit more cable management back here, but we've also tested, turned the battery on, and everything seems to be working great. So now that we have the battery done, the oil feed done, and all the other various bits and pieces that we've done up until this point, all we have left is the oil return line, and we're getting that hooked up now. So it has to go like from the silver thing you see to the blue thing. So what is that, like 3 inches?
Dude, not even that. It's gonna be like that long.
It's like 2 inches. I don't even know if our hose like can be cut down that short.
We'll figure it out.
It's gonna be a struggle, but that's all we have left, and then we can put the tires back on, get it to the muffler shop, and we'll be good to go. Kind of. Won't drive still, kind of.
No, I will.
But won't be able to boost. We'll still be able to make turbo noises though.
Sort of.
Right?
No.
No.
It'll do it like...
It'll make turbo noise, but not actually boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Won't make blow-off valve noises.
That's fine. I don't need a blow-off valve noise. I just need turbo noise.
Okay. We need to cut the hose.
Look at how giant that cable is. We have to go like 3 inches. Oh, it's crazy. So you have to cut it like in half or more. Right?
Yeah, basically.
Shit. So this is how we're drilling our hole for that oil return line. We bought a 90-degree DeWalt, big brand drill, and we had a bunch of DeWalt batteries, but they didn't fit this 90-degree drill, and so we had to improvise. So now it's time to get that hole drilled. Passed with some bullshit. Steven did 2 of the 3 holes. He's being lazy as shit. I guess I have to do something for a change.
I'm filming.
This is a pretty sketchy setup.
Tell me about it. Make sure it doesn't like wobble around and like miss where you're trying to go. You only got one shot.
This is pretty pretty scary.
Dude, there's a bunch of shadows everywhere.
That's why you do the hard part and I do the camera work.
Wow, that's a turbo. You can't see shit from there.
I need to stay behind the camera, dude.
No, can't see nothing either.
Dude, this is way too hard for me. It's seriously like
It's working.
hitting the drill bit on the ground. Alright, so we got our oil fitting on the pan as we need. Where is it? There it is. And we use a little gasket gobbledygook. Get that working. And so now we're putting all the car back together. We still have to cut that hose, but that'll be relatively easy. So a couple weeks ago, Steven was doing something, or well, I guess it was a couple weeks ago now. Steven was doing something, and he was using brake cleaner, and it splattered onto the headlight. So what I realized is that the brake cleaner actually cleans the headlight. Well, actually, I might have just made this worse. Maybe once it dries, that like fog will go away. I think it is. I think it's drying and it's going away. I'll put it in the sunlight. But he splattered brake cleaner onto the headlights, and where the brake cleaner landed, it actually made it cleaner. So I'm hoping that that theory ends up panning out and it really does make it cleaner, because that would be awesome. The headlights have been really foggy, so I'm gonna try that and we'll see how that goes. Well, I think I made it worse. They both look really foggy. Oh gosh. Yeah, so don't spray your headlights with brake cleaner. That didn't work out at all. Oh my lord. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Well, I should probably move this brake cleaner out of the way.
Oh gosh. Now you're gonna have to trash me over.
This headlight is legitimately ruined.
Steven, spray it at the same time.
No, that'll blow it up. It's a terrible idea. Well, you won't believe it, but we are putting things back together, and we've cleaned up our area for the most part, and things are looking really good. We got a couple things to do. We still got to put that drain feed hose on. It's giving us some trouble, so we're going to take a break, go eat some dinner, come back a little later. We're going to put the tires back on. We can get the car off the jack stands, and we're going to progress on out of here pretty soon. So I'm extremely excited. And just like that, we're plumbed up, both to and from. We got a little, no kinkage, but it's pretty close. We made it work. We had to cut that pipe, which was a massive pain getting that red little orb back on, but we're all hooked up and ready to go. The first things we did when we first put the car up in the air was adjust the coilovers, because when we took the plastic panels out underneath the wheels, we were afraid the tire was going to get cut by the exposed metal. We ended up putting those plastic bits back, but we're not sure which way for certain we adjusted the coilovers, so hopefully when we put the car down, it's not too high or too low, so we'll see.
Whoa.
I think it's good. They're more up in the wheel arches, I think. I think it's lowered, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, the jack won't come out on its own. You gotta get the little guy. We lowered it! Oh man, I love it. I forgot how low this thing was.